Hi. Happy International Women's Month, everyone, to all my girlies out there. I am going to do a part 2 to one of the videos that I am most proud of that I've ever done on my channel, and that is to give you recommendations for books with the most iconic and unhinged women I've ever read. One thing about this household, we support women's rights, but we also support women's wrongs. Yes, we do. There is nothing in this world that I love more than an absolutely unhinged, iconic female main character. There's nothing in this world I love more. I will link the first video that I did years ago now. Just like in the first video, we are going to start off tame, and then as we progress throughout the list, the characters are going to get more and more and more unhinged. And we love to see it. So without further ado, let's get on to the most iconic and unhinged female main characters. We have to start off with Miss Carrie Soto. Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is about Carrie Soto, who is a professional tennis player, and she's taken a break and now she's making a comeback. What I love about our main character, Carrie Soto, is that you can feel the passion that she has for her sport, which is tennis, through every single page, and it is the driving force for every decision that she makes in this book. She chooses her career, she chooses her sport, she chooses her passion, she chooses herself, and she believes in herself so much. When you are an ambitious woman and you are a go-getter and you go for what you want and you don't let anything or anyone get in the way of that, yeah, people are scared. People are scared. People don't like it. I don't know why, because when men do it, they're alpha males, they're heroes, they are revered. But when women do it, all of a sudden it's an issue. Not for Carrie. She doesn't give a shit about what anyone says. She knows that her ambition and her confidence in herself intimidates people. And in her mind, it's like, am I intimidating or are you intimidated? Period. We also follow her very up and down relationship with her father, who really pushed her sometimes past her limits as a child growing up to become the best tennis player that she possibly could. And you see how that affects her mentality and the way that she views herself as she enters into the professional world. There also is a lot of exploration when it comes to the relationship and the dynamics between women athletes and the way that they are always pitted against each other. I really loved this book, and I loved Carrie Soto as a main character. She is so iconic, and I was rooting for her the entire fucking time. And she's not perfect. She's not. And she knows that. She knows her flaws. She knows that she is not the perfect athlete. She knows that there are times where she just cannot show any good sportsmanship. But I love that she knows those things about herself, and she is very unapologetic about who she is. So Carrie Soto is fucking iconic, and she's back. And we love to see a woman athlete. Yes, we do. Okay, next we have the one, the only, the legendary Miss Veronica Speedwell. This is A Curious Beginning by Deanna Raybourn. This is actually the first book in a series. I believe book 10 just dropped this month. So this is a fairly long series. If you're looking for a series to binge, I highly recommend this because you will be following the life of one of the most iconic characters I have ever read in my life, and that is the one, the only, Veronica Speedwell. She is a lepidopterist. She's an expert in butterflies. She also, throughout the series, partners up with a man named Stoker, who is a taxidermist. The both of them are very adventurous. They've traveled around the world. They are very passionate about arts, about culture, about history, and they solve mysteries in every book. There's a different mystery that happens in every book, and they help solve it. What I love most about Veronica is that she's very ahead of her time. These books take place in the late 1800s in London. She's very independent. She is in her 30s. She's unmarried. She has no kids. She puts her career first. She pursues her passions. She travels around the world. And at that time, a lot of people would call her a spinster, but Veronica sees it as she's just living her life, doing what she wants, living life by her terms. And we love to fucking see it. We love an independent queen. Yes, we do. And again, for this time period, it was rare to see women like that. And so I really admire Veronica Speedwell. She's one of my favorite main characters of all time. I devoured the first 5 books in the series last year, and I want to continue on with the series obviously this year. But now that there are less and less books for me to binge, I kind of want to take my time with it because I love being in this world and I love following Veronica and Stoker so much that I don't want to run out of books, because I don't even know what book is going to be the last book. This is still ongoing. I'm trying to make it last, but if you want to follow a iconic, independent female main character who solves mysteries and is just living her life, doing what she loves to do, then definitely check out Veronica Speedwell. Iconic. Okay, if you watched part 1 of this video series, then you'll know that one of my favorite characters to read about are con women. I love a con woman, especially when she's conning men blind, when she's robbing men left and right, period, as she fucking should. So of course I have to include First Light Wins by Ashley Elston on this list, because the main character in this book, babe, you guessed it, a con woman. A con woman. Iconic. Our main character in this is Evie, and she works for a mysterious boss. She's not even really sure just how big the organization that she works for is, but she knows that she is a con woman and works under this mysterious guy, and her new mark is Ryan, and things don't go as planned because feelings do get involved. However, there were a lot of plot twists and turns in this that I totally was not expecting at all. I just had a really fun time with it. And again, I just love any book that has a con woman in the forefront, playing these men, doing whatever she needs to do for the plot. Iconic. So if you're looking for a sort of thriller with a con woman as the main character, I highly recommend First Light Wins. I really enjoyed it. I remember when I read this, I think back in 2024, is that when this came out? I devoured the audiobook of this in the span of 24 hours. Okay, I was addicted. I was hooked. So if you're looking for a con woman story, First Light Wins. Okay, those were a little bit tame. Now we're moving on to characters that are starting to show hints and signs of delusions, of grandeur. They're doing the damn thing, okay? First off, we have, I don't have the physical copy of this, but first off, we have Sky Daddy. And this is a book about a main character who, I forget her name, but if you have ever watched the show My Strange Addiction, which it's crazy that, like, as a millennial, we grew up with these insane ass reality TV shows. But My Strange Addiction is exactly what it was. We would follow people, real life people, who had the weirdest, strangest addictions. I mean, we had people that were eating couch cushions. We had people that were eating baking powder. We had people that were in love with their cars. And so the main character of this book would 100% be on that show because she is sexually attracted to airplanes. Yeah. And in her mind, she thinks that the ultimate way that she would find her soulmate and eventually end up with an airplane and know that that's her partner for life is by boarding planes, taking flights, and then it resulting in a plane crash. And that's how she thinks that she will finally end up with the love of her life. Now, for me, this book hit a little too close to home because this book takes place mainly at the San Francisco airport, which is my base airport. You guys know I travel for work, and that is literally the airport that I travel out of all the time. And so, will I ever look at an airplane the same again after reading this book? No. But did I have a good time? Did I enjoy the ride? Yeah, I did. For such an interesting concept, I do think that this character exploration was very fascinating. You follow her through all of the things that she went through as a child and how she got to this point of her addiction, her attraction to planes. It's also interesting how someone that has an addiction like that, or, you know, an unusual affection for material objects, is able to develop relationships and, you know, human interactions with people. It's so hard when you have this very niche thing that you are interested in, and finding people that are understanding of that, or who even are willing to try and understand. There's, of course, the ice cream truck rolling past now. But I just thought it was very fascinating, very interesting. And again, I felt like I was watching an episode of My Strange Addiction. So if you want to see a very interesting, unique character that is sexually attracted to planes, Sky Daddy. This would not be a complete list if I didn't include Chlorine by Jade Song. First of all, this book, iconic, phenomenal debut, right? Cover, stunning. This book is about Ren. She is a young woman. I believe she's in high school or college. Hold on, let me see. I actually don't know if she's in high school or middle school. Ren is a swimmer. She is on a team. She has a coach. However, deep down in her soul, in her core, who she really thinks that she is meant to be, or what she really thinks she's meant to be, is a mermaid. The sea, the ocean, it calls to her. But it calls to her as a creature with fins, not legs. Because there's a lot of things going on in her life, but these are human concerns, not mermaid concerns. No. These are human concerns. And she's not human, she's a mermaid. You kind of explore this young woman's mind and how she is just so into what she believes in and finding her true calling, which is to be a mermaid. And you kind of see a slow descent and spiral of her eventually leading to a conclusion that I still don't even believe what happened at the end. There is some body horror in this, so trigger warnings for that. But this does, as I said, it does spiral a bit out of control. And she does take it to a level that I don't think anyone in her life was thinking that she would take it to. I don't think anyone truly believed how deeply she was convinced that she was meant to be a mermaid. I don't think anyone took her seriously. I really don't. Buckle in, babe. You're in for a ride. But I really enjoyed this. I think this also too, just like as a coming of age story, is very moving, because this happens at such a trivial time in her life where, you know, everything feels like life or death at this age, at this young age. And your mind is just whatever you are clinging on to that's going to keep you going. That is all you're going to think about, and that is all your life revolves around. And I feel like that is definitely what was going on with Ren in her mind and her mentality of this. I definitely think, like Sky Daddy, a very fascinating character study, but I really, really enjoyed this. I love the writing. And yeah, if you want to read about a girl who truly in her heart of heart believes that she's a mermaid, Chlorine. Now we are leveling up a notch. This is where things really start heating up when it comes to these characters. Next, we have Pizza Girl by Jean Kyung Fraser. I read this years ago, and I made the mistake of rating it 3 stars. Since I read this, I'm not kidding you, I think about this book all the time. And it makes me want to bump my rating up for the mere fact that it still has made an impact on me, because I think about the events that occurred in here, and I'm still just like, wow, that was that. So in this book, we're following our main character, who is 18 years old. She's pregnant. She works as the delivery girl for a pizza shop. She has a very supportive mom and a loving boyfriend, which would be the ideal situation, but she's also grieving the loss of her father. And she lives in a very suburban area, so same routine day after day, and it feels like her life is going nowhere. She starts to become the regular delivery girl for a woman named Jenny, who is ordering these pizzas to keep her young son happy. She's a stay-at-home mom, and these pizzas are her son's current hyperfixation. And so Jenny, she really relies on these deliveries to keep her son happy, to keep her son at peace, you know? And our main character, I don't actually know if she ends up getting named, but I believe she remains an unnamed character for the entire book, but she becomes obsessed with Jenny. She becomes obsessed to the point that towards the end of the book, she takes it really far. Yeah, she does. Again, same as Chlorine, she spirals. It's like a fine line between her admiring Jenny and wanting to be Jenny. Do you know what I mean? And so again, you kind of see her spiral, and things happen. The end of this, I was kind of just like, how did we get here? Holy shit. This is actually kind of crazy. I still think about the last few events of this book all the time and just like, wow, that really happened. And again, unhinged, babe, unhinged. But we support women's wrongs here. We really do. And if you really want to support women's wrongs, yeah, read this book, Pizza Girl. Okay, now we're getting into the nitty gritty of these unhinged characters. She's a Lamb by Meredith Hambrock. Oh my God. My girl Jessamine. Listen. I have read so many reviews on Goodreads, and I've seen so many reviews on social media of people absolutely hating Jessamine and not liking her at all. And I completely understand. But listen, one thing about me, babe, I love an unlikable character, even more when they're unhinged. Yeah, those are my girls. Those are my girls. So Jessamine is a thespian, and she is dying for the role of Maria in a regional production of The Sound of Music. She knows that she's bound for greatness. She knows she is. In her mind, she's the best of the best. She's the creme de la creme. However, she ends up becoming sort of the on-set nanny for all of the child actors that are to be the Von Trapp children. But she thinks in her mind that the director's only doing that because she's expecting for something to go wrong with the person that is cast as Maria and keeping Jessamine on standby to fill in for that part in case something happens to the lead. She knows that she's just biding her time as this child caretaker until it's her time to shine. Yeah, yep. One thing about Jessamine, she is the definition of delusion, babe. She is. I love a character that just lives their truth and their delusions out. I really do. You can't tell her anything. Okay, she knows she's a star. She knows she's a star. She knows that she's better than everyone on set. And she's not afraid to let anyone know. She really like tells these people like, you really think you're something. You really do. You're not. I am. And if that wasn't enough, babe, she has stalkers. Okay, she has certain men that stalk her and are literally obsessed with her. And the way that she treats them like they're her number one fans, the way that she loves that they are obsessed with her, the way that she thinks, oh, it's just because he loves me. It's just because he knows I'm talented. It's just because he's obsessed with me. And who wouldn't be? Iconic. I'm sorry. Absolutely fucking iconic. Yeah, you definitely do explore her trauma and how she got to this point. And there is a lot of, exploration into that. And there are moments where you can't help but feel empathy and sometimes sympathy for her and the situations that she got in and how she got here. She's really just trying to make it through. She's trying to survive. And if being delusional and telling herself that she's the best of the best is how she's going to make it through the day, who am I to tell her anything else? Who am I to tell her no? Again, things spiral out of control. Out of control. Very dark humor, satire, really. And I ate this up. I ate this up. All I have to say is Jessamine St. Germain, they could never make me hate you. They could never make me hate you. What an absolute delusional, unhinged icon. Next we have, again, this list would not be complete without The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim. It really would not be complete without this, babe. Okay, This book, we follow Jiwon, who is a freshman in college. Her dad had an affair, left his entire family, her mom, and her younger sister. And now her mom has a new boyfriend. Her mom is a Korean immigrant, and her mom's new boyfriend is a white man. And one of those old skeezy white men that think that because they served a couple years in the military in an Asian country that they are all of a sudden experts in that country. Yeah. Mind you, Jiwon's mom doesn't speak a lick of English. So how they're even having a relationship, I have no idea. And neither does Jiwon. She can tell that this man is just using her mom as sort of a trophy, and 100% appropriating her culture in every sense of the word. Jiwon has a lot of pent-up female rage. She has these visceral dreams about eyes, eyeballs. As you can tell from the cover, things happened. If you have any phobias about eyes, if you are someone that gets grossed out when you watch someone try to put their contacts in or try to touch their eyes, babe, stay far away from this book. Because I don't know if you can tell, but there's a lot of descriptions about eyes, and it gets pretty gruesome and gory towards the end of this book. Jiwon takes matters into her own fucking hands, and we love to see it. We really fucking love to see it. This, I believe this is categorized as a horror. There is some body horror in this, babe. And again, if anything with eyes freaks you out, do not pick this book up. But if that doesn't really bother you and you want to read about a completely unhinged woman who takes matters into her own hands, and somehow eyeballs are involved, unhinged. Love it. Love to see it. Love to see it. Now we're towards the end of our list, which is where the most unhinged women reside. And by unhinged, I mean these are women who are the leads in dark romances. So shit gets crazy. So first we have Maura Quinn. All right, this is the first book in the Maura Quinn series, Embrace the Darkness by Ashley Ann Rostek. I don't see anyone talking about this dark romance series at all, but it's so good, okay? We follow, obviously, our main character, Maura Quinn. A few years ago, okay, she walked away from her mafia family. She really thought that she could live a normal life, go to college, get a good job, and you know, live a life that was free of all the crime and the darkness of her family, even though she grew up in that environment and she was raised to be a badass. The opening scene of this book is her killing her boyfriend because he cheated on her. No notes. No notes. Diva fucking behavior. And honestly, valid crash out. Because what do you mean you're gonna cheat on a mafia princess and get away with it with your life? So anyway, because of that, she ends up having to call her family again and be like, I made an oopsie. I need help to clean this up. And things go on from there. Like I said, this is the first book in a trilogy. We follow her getting back into the fold, and there does end up being sort of a reverse harem with two men that work for her dad. Iconic, honestly. The first time I read this, I think it was like 2021. And then I reread it, I think in 2024. And it fucking held up. It really did. It really did. It's still fucking iconic. She's such a badass. Absolutely unhinged. She does not hold back. You fuck with her and you're done. You're done. And we love to see it. Next, we have another very underrated dark romance that literally no one ever talks about, but I'm obsessed with. And that is Devil's Breath by Lang Johnson. And I love this because it's written by a Filipino author, and we hardly ever see Filipino authors writing dark romance. But if you guys have any recommendations, let me know. And in this, we follow Sarah, who is also a mafia princess. Okay, her dad has a really huge crime organization as well. But in this, Sarah is a chemist. She makes poison, babe. She makes drugs. Yeah, we love to fucking see it. We love to see women in STEM. Women in STEM, okay? She's a chemist, she's an assassin, and she is helping her dad expand their criminal empire, period, as she should. She creates a new drug called Devil's Breath, very strong, very potent, and it's going to shake up and revolutionize the drug industry, the underground drug industry, mind you. There is a billionaire who ends up getting involved with this industry and somehow is linked to funding this new business venture for her father's empire, and her father wants him out. So she's tasked with killing him. His name is Cassius Batista. Iconic name, by the way. So she gets close to him to get to know him, to try to infiltrate him and his business and kill him. But, well, it is a dark romance, so I think we all know what happens, right? But absolutely fucking iconic. Sarah, a legend. Truly a legend, truly a moment. Badass, woman in STEM. So yeah, she basically has to choose between being with Cassius or her dad who raised her. Like, who does she, because one of them has to die. It's either going to be Sarah or Cassius. And one thing about Sarah, it's not going to be her. It's not going to be her. What's a girl to do? Fucking iconic. Love this. So underrated. Such a fun time. Dark romance. Like, everything I could ever want in a dark romance. All right, the last book that I have on this list. This last spot, the most unhinged female main character on this list. There's no other spot that this female main character could fit in. And that is Bloody Melody from Ruthless People. Her nickname in this book, in this series, is literally Bloody Melody. Name a more iconic title, please. I didn't think so. This is Ruthless People by J.J. McAvoy. One of my favorite dark romance mafia series ever. So obviously our main character, Melody, she is the daughter to an Italian mafia family, and it is a romance between her and Liam, who is the heir to the Irish mob. So they are the heirs to two of the biggest crime organization families in the States. In order to end years and years and years of bloodshed between these two families, their dads, yeah, they arrange a marriage between these two. But these two, Liam and Melody, hate each other. You want enemies to lovers, babe? Look no further. This was true enemies to lovers. Liam and his family don't know that Melody is the one that's going to take over her father's empire. They don't know that she, a woman, is the one that's been running the scenes for the Italian mafia for years now, and that she's been trained to take over her father's place. They had no idea. So when Melody walks in and meets Liam for the first time, I'm not kidding you, they literally start shooting at each other. Yeah. Yes, babe. Yeah. Enemies to fucking lovers. And there's a reason why they call her Bloody Melody. And I'm going to leave it at that. Let your imagination run wild. There's a reason why she's the last character on this list, why she is in the spot of the most unhinged character that I'm mentioning in this video. But I think you should find out for yourself. I really do. This is such a fun, dark mafia romance series. I really like, again, this is another series that no one talks about. I need more people to be getting on this because this was so fucking good. And you don't even just follow these two characters throughout the series, throughout all the books. You end up getting POVs from her family members, his family members, and how all of their stories intertwine together. And it's just so good. The way that J.J. McAvoy wrapped all of their stories together, phenomenal. And I don't even think I finished the series. I think I only have the first 3 books. I think I made it up to book 4, but I want to say that there's either 1 or 2 more books out and I didn't even finish it. So I definitely want to reread this and be back in the world of Bloody Melody and eventually finish the series. But this is so good, so underrated. No one talks about this. But again, most unhinged character on this list, babe. Bloody Melody for a reason. All right, those are all of the iconic and unhinged women that I have for you guys today. Again, in this household, we love women's rights, but we also love women's wrongs. So if you have any characters or books with iconic, delusional, unhinged female main characters, leave them down below because obviously I love to read about them. And those are my favorite characters to read. God, I love it when women just women. Perfection. That's all I have for you guys today. Happy International Women's Month. I hope you guys are having a great March. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.